Thank you for this movie. Now it's over. And
I don't have to watch it
ever again.
Thank you for pain. Just pain.
Mostly just pain.
Mostly just pain.
Yep. It's just pain.
Don't forget sadness.
Sadness and pain.
All of the pain.
Oh my god, dude. We're funny.
We are fucking
We're a bunch of silly geese.
funny.
Silly gooseums.
Silly
It's
gooseums.
it's gooses.
Geeses.
Believe it's gooseums.
Geesems. Guams.
Guams.
We're a bunch of silly guams.
All right.
Moms.
You guys ready?
I'm rickety
I think
rickety.
so.
You want to do the clap?
I thought you weren't going to call it that anymore.
Fuck it. Snap. Snap. Damn it. I was talking over it. Do it again. All right, welcome back to Anime Shmanime, where we're just going to dish out pain today.
This episode is about tears that fall from my eyes.
You may find a rather somber tone over this episode
Yeah.
if you know what we're covering.
We're sorry for the
Yeah.
lack of laughter, although somehow we're going to find a way to laugh, and then later on we're going to feel bad about having done that.
Because we're giggly as fuck.
I think a little too giggly to be recording this episode.
Yeah,
but let's
maybe.
see what happens.
All right.
Yes.
It's a fun time.
so if you don't know already, because you clicked on this, we're doing Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Yeah, get ready, buckle in. I'm going to make you cry. Well, actually, I'm not going to make you cry, but this movie's going to make
If
you
you've
cry.
seen it, you've cried.
Yeah, if you haven't, you have no
And
soul.
let's call this a support circle for people who have seen Grave of the Fireflies. We're here for you.
I need it more than anyone, probably, because this was actually a first-time watch for me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which
Same.
might shock some people, but like, you know what? I've known about this movie forever. It has a rep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's-
Everybody talks about this movie as being devastating. So why would I run to it? I just never really
Yeah.
found the opportunity. I knew it was a period piece about World War.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was okay living my life just knowing that about it.
Yeah, I think I would have been a happier person at never having seen it.
Yeah. however,
Yeah.
This is an important piece of like
here's the
anime
thing.
history.
But as is the case with pretty much all like war media, as painful as it can be to watch sometimes, I mean, God, how devastating is the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a cliche one to pick out, but like it's still go watch the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. It's fucking fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
Because the
hard
one
to
I
watch.
saw was Saving
But-
Ryan's Privates.
That would make you cry from your dick though.
Ew. Gross.
Yeah.
But
Say
no.
whatever I want.
Ew. Ew. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's like all war stuff, man. It's
Yeah.
like it's sad, and I wish I hadn't watched it, but the importance is so palpable when
Yeah.
it comes to stuff like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the lessons that you learn, and just the reverence that you gain for the people who lived through all of this is like insane, man. For
sure.
So as much as I never want to watch this movie ever again, I'm super glad that I've seen it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
a
really
one-time watch.
important.
Right,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like
Once in a lifetime.
you got to watch it at
Yeah.
least once.
And it's not just a watch experience, it's a watch and then heal from having watched. Like, you got to
Yeah.
process this
I
watch.
cried for a good half an hour after I finished watching it. I was just like
Just
silently
gut-wrenching.
weeping in my room, just crying, man.
I'm not a cry guy
I am.
at things like this, but I definitely felt feelings and then like left the room and like didn't do what I was going to do next. I just went to bed.
No, you're just emotionally
You
drained.
actually didn't cry.
No, I don't cry from like things like this.
Have you
he's
ever cried
fucking-
during a movie
No,
or TV show?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you're just
soulless.
Yeah.
sick.
Heartless, cold. Yeah, we've
Yes.
established this.
Yeah, you're just a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways,
Speaking of
before
monsters.
we fucking get into this, if you haven't seen this already, go watch it. Also, we're gonna spoil the fuck out of it, so
Yep.
this is your warning right now.
Yeah, because if you haven't seen it and you're watching us right now, you don't know why the sadness
Yeah.
that we're talking about. It just is.
Yeah, you have to witness it.
Yeah.
Because whatever you could make up in your head, like, oh, how sad could a war story be?
It goes there. It is.
You don't know.
Definitely
Yeah.
goes.
You don't know.
Yeah. You don't know that.
You don't.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
God.
Yeah, I didn't write
yes.
description, but what I did write again, like I said, was I would have been happier, I think, if I never watched this film.
Yep.
And I
Well,
stand by that.
this is the crazy thing to me is that it's taken you guys both this long to have watched this movie. Like
You're right.
I especially I know for you, Jordy, like you've seen a lot of Ghibli movies, like because they're like anime but not anime, like they're Disney anime or whatever. But
Yep.
it's yeah, like I'm surprised you haven't seen it, and then I'm really surprised that you haven't seen it until like
But you know what though? It does check out with me.
Yeah.
We know this about me.
Yeah.
I only watch shit that I'm like really,
You're gonna
really
love.
interested
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a World War II like period piece,
It's something that I figured you would be into. You love war shit.
but like a sad one about little kids.
that's not
yeah,
Jay.
I guess that's true.
No,
It's not Jay. He hated Made in Abyss. And this is
Oh,
like
that's-
Made in
that's
Abyss,
true,
but real
yes.
life.
but real life.
Yeah. Yeah, but like actually happened.
yeah, like, yeah, fuck. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's sadder, a little less disturbing than Made in Abyss,
Yeah.
but a little more sad.
Yeah.
A lot more sad.
Yeah. Like the most sad.
We're just going to say sad over and over again.
You know what? I do struggle to think of another film that made me cry as hard as this one. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe like Lord of the Rings, like Return of the King, like that one got me real fucking good.
We don't
You
bend
bow to no man.
That's the scene, dude. That's the scene.
Yeah.
Every goddamn time
Yeah.
I cannot watch that scene.
Because you know why? Because they gave Aragorn those like quivering anime eyes.
Of course, they're
Yeah.
glistening.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
glistening.
everyone's glistening in that moment. Actually,
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
glowing.
Glowing. Yeah.
I mean, all the elf scenes are always
Yeah.
them glowing.
I love it, dude.
The light from the sun is somehow like yellowy.
Let's keep talking about Lord of the Rings. This is way better, dude.
I love how the thing that's way better is the other film ever that's made you cry like this.
Yeah, but it's at least happy.
Yeah.
It's at least happy tears.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, not fucking
Yeah.
devastated tears.
Yeah, what was it? When we were talking off camera yesterday, you were like, "Yo, this is totally up your alley. Why would you make me watch this? You're like a masochist."
Oh yeah. No, I said it's a masochism watch.
Yeah.
Because if you do watch this repeated times, you're just trying to hurt yourself.
Yeah, because you know.
Yeah. And then I was just like, oh, so Mikey's gonna give it a 10 out of 10. This is the biggest masochist I fucking know.
Yeah.
Recommended this one.
I am a sadist, so I want to make you watch it. I want to stick you in a chair like Clockwork Orange.
You did.
And just
Wow.
keep your eyes open.
You did.
Force your
Wow.
eyes open and watch it over.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You sick son of a bitch.
Same. I also did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's crazy is I don't even have a little sister
Yeah.
or a daughter.
I have an actual daughter.
Yeah.
Who's like
I
not
know.
that much older than this.
I know.
Yeah.
And it still just was. It was as if I did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted to go hug my little sister after.
Yeah.
Who doesn't exist.
You make one out of old clothes and stuff it with straw.
That's sadder than this movie.
Oh, sis. I'm
is it on
sorry,
point?
sis. Shut up, dude. Here, have this watermelon I just cut.
Dude, I'm gonna jump across the table.
All right, give us
But
some
yeah.
Senpai's Corner, Jay. Let's get into
God, I don't know if I can.
Some info.
Okay, yeah.
this part's going to be sad too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
So, Grave of the Fireflies, or in Japanese, Hotaru no Haka, is a 1988 Japanese animated war tragedy film based on a 1967 short story by Akiyuki Nosaka. It was written and directed by Isao Takahata and animated by Studio Ghibli for Shinkosha Publishing. The film stars Tsutomu Tatsumi, Ayano Shiraishi, Yoshiko Shinohara, and Akemi Yamaguchi. Set in the city of Kobe, Japan in June 1945, it tells the story of two siblings and war orphans, Seita and Setsuko, and their desperate struggle to survive during the final months of the Second World War. Grave of the Fireflies has been ranked as one of the greatest war films of all time and is recognized as a major work of Japanese animation. A little interesting note about the development. So the author, Akiyuki Nosaka, said that many offers had been made to make a live-action film adaptation of his short story. He argued that it was impossible to create the barren, scorched earth. That's to be the backdrop of the story.
Yeah.
He also argued that contemporary children would not be able to convincingly play the characters. Nosaka expressed surprise when an animated version was offered. After seeing the storyboards, he concluded that it was not possible for such a story to have been made in any method other than animation.
I kind of agree.
And expressed surprise at how accurately the rice paddies and townscape were depicted. He also said that he was sold after seeing our main character, Seita, was a unique wartime ninth grader. And like the authenticity of his character totally sold him on it. So it's just really interesting that like people were like, we want it, we want it, we want it. And he was just
nah,
like,
not going to happen.
not if it's not right.
Yeah.
You know, but I love that he had those convictions, though, because it's, you know, a lot of times, especially in North America, they're like, oh, any kind of adaptation, money, 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 money.
Yeah. Who's
right?
paying the most? You're the one who can make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Artist integrity.
Yeah. They did end up having, I think, a couple live action films afterwards.
Of Grave of the Fireflies?
Yeah.
Boo. Boo. I feel like not only can you not depict the scenery like you said, but I feel like the sadness is not going to be the same.
Yeah, I think they actually
the
had a really
emotions.
hard time animating. From what I remember reading up on this. a while ago.
2005 live action.
Yeah,
2005.
yeah, and they actually had a hard time animating the faces because they wanted to portray a certain amount of like pain.
Yeah.
and trying to get those nuances in an animated face is sometimes difficult.
Well, they did it.
Yeah, yeah, they did it.
They delivered the pain.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I guess.
So the world of this is, we already talked about it's World War II, but hyper realistic. There's not really much more to say about that. It's bleak. It's, you're
getting
scorched earth, like you said.
Zero fantasy elements.
No, yeah.
Whatsoever.
No, I mean, a little bit with the Fireflies.
At the very beginning, I guess, to get
Yeah.
the story going, there's a little bit, but like
It's not any sort of fantasy
Fireflies
at all.
don't do anything.
No.
Fireflies don't just
They're
do.
they're just symbolic.
Yeah,
really is what it comes to.
I mean, like, so right now for our listeners, we have the original poster up on our TV behind
Carefully
us.
selected, actually.
Oh yeah, because of the
image.
The image.
Yeah.
But do you know about the brightening up the image?
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
No, but people can just fucking Google it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's if you crank up the contrast on the image,
Yeah.
there's a silhouette behind each of those
Sneaky.
little fireflies, and
Yeah.
it's the shape of an airplane or a
No,
bomber.
I think there's just one before bomber that's at the top of the poster.
I think they all are.
Oh really?
Brighten it up, Jay.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it.
Okay.
Don't brighten it up, but you can look it up for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like a bomber on the top, and then those fireflies aren't actually fireflies; they're just fucking
They're the incendiary bombs.
yeah, the incendiary bombs.
Sick.
Is it? Okay, yeah, it is just the one. I
Yeah.
thought there was more in the background.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, it's cryptic as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think that imagery and that symbology was overt throughout the entire film. Like, I think
yeah.
even
Yeah.
without them being heavy-handed about it on a poster, like
Yeah.
that was clearly like the symbology and imagery that they were trying to go for with the Fireflies at several points in the movie.
That they were bombs, you mean?
They were alluding to the kids looking up wondrously at fireflies the same way people were looking up
Yeah.
at the bombs.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
They were drawing those correlations throughout the movie several times.
There were moments where actually I felt that the Fireflies represented dead people. The people dying.
It represented more than just the bombs. I have
Yeah.
other thoughts
Okay,
on
yeah.
the fireflies as well. That
Yeah.
broke me when I thought
Yeah.
about it too long.
Because there were moments when, like, they were walking and there was just two fireflies. At first, when their mom passed away, there was just one, the first one you see.
yeah.
And then later on, it's three. You know what I mean? And that's the foreshadowing, right? Like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, one person died, but
Oh my god!
when you
and-
get to the end of this movie,
yeah,
Yeah.
and then seeing the mom in the school, like after she,
we're not ready yet. I'm
there
not
yet.
prepared.
Yeah.
We have to massage ourselves into it. Like,
Definitely.
no, I'm just
Definitely.
fucking diving right
no,
in.
we need to hold each other's hands through this
Let's
one, dude.
fuck each
Hold
other
each
up,
other's
guys.
Wow.
Yeah. No, the thing with the fireflies that
Yeah.
I was kind of mulling over was, fireflies kind of are unaware of like the joy and like the light and the happiness that they can kind of bring to us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they go through their life never really knowing, and oftentimes, at least, for some people, they lose their family members far too soon, far too early. The same way that Setsuko cries over why the firefly dies within a day.
Yeah.
Why do they have to die so soon?
Yeah.
Why can't they live longer?
Ugh.
Who's she really saying that about, right?
Yeah, the
And she does, and
fleetingness
she
of
does
it all.
expand on that and bring in her mom and all these different things, right? Like that's when she basically says that she knows, right, about
Yeah.
her mom.
Yeah.
But it was like the correlation of just, you know, fireflies and the ones that we love bringing light and life to us,
Yeah.
and then being gone way too soon.
Yeah.
I sat with that for fucking
It sounds like it. Yeah.
fucked me up too. Yeah, man.
This
Yeah.
is the most philosophical and existential movie.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's funny too because it's like it totally seems like an anti-war movie, but from what I remember, it's not. It was a piece on. I think even both the director and the author both wanted it to be about the kids, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's about the kids in a war, but you're right. It's not about. Nobody in the movie hates that the war's happening. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nobody's like, stop the war.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a blip on the fleeting
Yeah.
desperation.
But also, nobody you see is like taking part in the war. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's quote unquote helping out, but they don't say in what way.
Yeah.
It's vague in that way.
Yeah, actually, to Mikey's point, it says here Takahata repeatedly denied that the film was an anti-war film. In his own words, it is not at all an anti-war anime and contains absolutely no such message. Instead, he had intended to convey an image of the brother and sister living a failed life due to isolation from society and to invoke sympathy, particularly in people in their teens and 20s.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? Because it's like you could argue. I mean, I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but like you could argue that it could have been so different. The ending could have been so different if what was the brother's name again?
Saita?
Saita.
Saita?
If he had swallowed some of his teenage pride, right? Because he could have been like, oh, okay, you know what? We're gonna stick with the aunt, even though she's kind of
The worst human
the
being.
worst human being. But like, it's not even the worst human being.
Nah,
It's just
I hate her.
yeah, you hate her because of how things ended, but like
Yeah.
culturally though, there's a lot of shame. Like Asian cultures like place a lot of shame and
Yeah.
criticalness on their for
sure.
That's
on kids
there's
and
actually
stuff.
a big thing about this, and it came up with the reaction from the audiences. So after the initial release, there were hugely different reactions from different cultures around the world, specifically around the point you just brought up
Yeah.
about Seita's decision not to go back to his aunt.
Yeah.
And the Japanese considered it to be an understandable decision.
Yeah.
They backed that. They were like, they understand that he had been raised to value pride in himself and his country. So he was going to go make it on his own. And
Yeah.
the Japanese, with their nationalism at the time, they were like, fuck yeah.
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 That's right.
Yeah.
Make it, right? But American and like Australian audiences, who were
Yeah.
the major other audiences who saw it next, they were more likely to perceive it as unwise.
Yeah. Like, don't die.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And to not try to just save his sister at all costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it was received very differently depending on where you fucking grew
Oh
up.
yeah, especially if you're like me being Korean, like there's a lot of similarities as far as like cultural stuff goes, right? And just how people are raised.
I didn't find myself faulting him for the decision, but I did find that was one of the biggest things that was hard to watch because it's one of those you're screaming at the TV moments. You know what
It's
I mean?
probably the hardest
Yeah.
decision he makes the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it goes to show like how, you know, if there's a different ways of going about it and nurturing a kid, right? Like, I mean, what if the aunt was sweet and nice and then encouraged him to like, okay, so we were having a hard time with food, so we need you to start picking things up or doing some work and so that we can all benefit as a family.
Yeah.
Right? And stuff like that. But like, you know, you shame a kid, you tell him that he's not like he's just worthless, and
Yeah.
essentially
And you get this.
You get this. Essentially, you get someone who runs away and doesn't want to be around because you're being emotionally abused, essentially.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Okay, you guys want to lift spirits a bit? Let's talk about the art. Because that was pretty nice.
It was beautiful.
Very beautiful, right?
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful in all the ways. Ghibli's always beautiful. I mean, the
Yeah.
landscapes,
Yes.
the countrysides.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
all just super fucking gorgeous. And
Mm-hmm.
all the characters have that typical Ghibli face that
Yeah.
you come to expect with those eyes and those features.
Yeah.
And it's very comforting and very,
Yeah.
but also like very foreboding because you know you're about to watch some real shit the moment it
Yes.
starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, this is going to be not for kids.
Immediately.
Yeah.
The first scene, they're evacuating.
Yeah.
It's like shit's happening. Right?
It just starts, man. They're just getting bombed.
Yeah, but they're like not freaking out.
No, that's not the first scene though. The first scene is
He's burying shit in the backyard.
No.
No, it's the guys who find the
The
tin.
Oh,
kid,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Forgot
you
about
see, and you see him like you see the bones that are in the tin,
Yeah.
and then she comes out, and,
Yeah.
and you know, essentially, and that
Starts
was
our story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was purposeful too, because I think I remember reading that the director. If you know what's going to happen at the end, because essentially, like, you know, they die.
Yeah.
Right. It was supposed to soften the blow of the movie, right? Because instead of like going in not knowing what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you just watch them die, but
Yeah.
you know that you're going to die. So
To me, I'll be honest with you, and this is probably, we've talked about this and my problem in the past about seeing scenes from later in the movie at the beginning of the movie. That's not my favorite thing. To me, it felt a little bit like shooting your shot too early. You know what I mean? I'm like, if they saved that kind of shit, like that's a gut punch I would have got to have at the end. That instead you gave it at the beginning when I didn't have the pile of emotional weight on top of that gut punch.
But that's
what I mean?
that's what he was saving you from, is instead of having a serious, like, you know, kick to the nats, it
Yeah.
was just going to be a gut punch.
I get it.
Right?
I feel like that's not what
a
this movie was
choice.
for.
But that's a
Yeah,
choice,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And that choice is going to be divisive. Like
Yeah.
some people want the kick to the groin,
Yeah.
and some people want the softer blow.
Yeah,
And
I'm
so it's
not
gonna
saying I
hit people
want the kick
differently.
to the groin. I just think it's maybe would have been a better choice
More effective.
for
get-
this
to
movie.
get
That's
kicked in the groin.
this movie's about making you feel like you got kicked in the groin. They could have given you two.
Totally.
They only gave you one.
For me, it just prolonged my suffering.
Yeah,
because every single bit, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of endearing things about Setsuko.
yeah.
Every single time I was just like, oh, I love this little girl.
Oh wait.
And then devastation again. And
Yeah.
that happened to me like 200 times throughout this movie.
Yeah.
And it
You're
was
right.
just painful throughout,
right.
knowing she was going to die. So I don't know if I was saved from a kick to the groin. It was more just like a really slow,
Squeezing of the
gradual
groin.
Squeezing of the groin. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, like
That's a great way to put it.
tightening the clamp a little bit each time.
grip.
A little bit each time.
We're talking about testicles and vice grips today on
Yeah.
Anime Shmanime.
I mean, the people will understand.
But I think this is why, like, okay, so if you've listened to our Princess Mononoke episode, we said that this is going to be a back-to-back Ghibli movie in honor of Miyazaki.
Talk about the two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, this isn't a Miyazaki movie because he didn't write
Sure.
the story or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that, like, you know, you have Miyazaki and you have the director. I can't remember his name.
Takahata. Hisao Takahata. Yeah.
Takahata. They both actually lived through raids, right? In
Interesting.
World War II. Like they've both, and that's where Miyazaki also gets his, I think, love for aviation was because of the war too.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I'm pretty
that.
sure, I can't remember whether that was the case or if he had the love. But anyway,
Either way, I
regardless of the
believe it.
fact,
He was raised in a time where that was like,
yeah, that was
huge.
happening.
Yeah.
Like he lived it.
that was
right?
peak technology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's very, very personal to Studio Ghibli as far as those guys go, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
For people who don't know, Takahata co-founded Ghibli with Miyazaki. It wasn't just Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the both of them.
So
Nice.
It's like a Steve Jobs kind of thing. You know what I mean? Everybody only knows the one guy.
Which guy? Steve Jobs? Who's the other guy?
Fucking the guy who actually did everything. What was his name? See, this is what I mean. I don't
Yeah.
remember his name.
Yeah,
but
that's a good
he
point.
did all the work.
He's not Miyazaki.
yeah.
He did all the work.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he did all the work.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Miyazaki does a lot of work though.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like, like of course, but like everybody only knows the one guy, and nobody pays attention to the other guy
Yeah.
who's doing just as much.
yeah, exactly.
There's always another guy.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the thing. You
'cause
look
he
at their
directs everything, right?
Well, he directs a lot, but if you look at their releases, it was like Miyazaki would get one, then Takahata would get one. Miyazaki would get one, Takahata would get one, and that was how Ghibli did things for years.
Yeah.
And some of the biggest titles, the ones people really remember, are Takahata movies and not Miyazaki movies.
Yeah.
But everybody sees Ghibli and they're just like Miyazaki, Miyazaki, Miyazaki.
Yeah.
It's like when people talk about, that podcast with Jordy and the other two.
Go fuck yourself.
Nobody says that.
Yeah.
I think they say that. I think they're saying that.
But yeah, so actually, speaking of releases,
Steve Wozniak.
Steve Wozniak.
That's the guy.
Yes.
My bad.
But anyway, so this was actually supposed to be a double release with My Neighbor Totoro, and it was like the worst idea ever, and it was gonna
Never.
be, back to back.
They were going to package them together?
Yeah,
That's so dumb.
Ew.
No,
That's disrespectful.
They did do that.
Oh, they've released them together on the same
yeah,
disc? That's so fucking stupid.
not on
man.
the same disc as like features together, a
like-
double release.
What do you mean, like in theaters?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, and it was like considered like the worst idea because you had My Neighbor Totoro, because we
Yeah.
all know Totoro. It's the mascot of Ghibli.
Yeah.
Right, and then you have this.
It totally was, dude. Yeah, it totally was. You're right.
That's fucking crazy, man.
What a stupid idea.
The worst.
One showcasing like the joy of childhood and one showcasing the pain and loss and suffering.
But yes. Oh
holy
my
shit.
god.
In one of them, the mother's in the hospital and gets better. Not this one.
Not this. Yeah, not this one. Yeah, definitely not this one.
Damn. All right, let's. I feel like there's a lot to say about music, but the only note I have is that I was so launched into emotions that I didn't notice that there was any.
That's okay. So that's actually the best. One of the best parts about that, because their use of silence in this movie
Yeah.
is fucking jarring.
Yeah,
But there's some beautiful pieces of music.
I have
in this.
assumed that there
also-
was
yeah.
because nothing was not doing that for me. Like it was all those kind of vibes, and I know Ghibli, you know what I mean. And the movie definitely was launching me into places.
Yeah.
But I just, it was hard. Taking notes for this movie was hard. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, I've seen
gonna tie
it.
you to the chair.
I know what it is. I've
Yeah,
seen it,
I'm gonna make you watch
but I
it.
don't need to rewatch it. I just need to make you guys watch it.
Oh my god.
That's probably why
it's-
I'm more giggly than you guys are.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Mike is like la di da di da da, and we're like, oh.
No, the music was fucking gorgeous. I thought, very classical, baroque, kind of like, it was just really nice. And there was some moments where the music like really fucking set in with me.
Yeah.
Right off the beginning, actually, like the opening sequence of when he releases the Fireflies and stuff, there's some music playing there where I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Because music will get me like more than anything most of the time.
Interesting.
In movies. So like, yeah, I was really, really impressed with the music.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Maybe you have to watch it again, Jordy, just for the music.
No.
Nope. I'm sure the music was great.
Well, we could just bring you the soundtrack, the OST of this.
I don't want that either. I feel like it's gonna be
No,
sadness.
I'm gonna make you listen.
You son of a bitch.
I'm gonna sit you in a chair like in Clockwork Orange.
Oh my god. All right. Do you want to move on to our characters?
No, I want to stay on music so that you can listen to it. And if you're still listening, I need you guys to subscribe.
Jay didn't like it.
Yeah, Jay didn't like that one.
How do you feel about it, Mike? Do you feel good about that one?
No. Oh my god! But yes, anyway, please like and subscribe wherever you're
Yeah.
getting your podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, all that good stuff. Share it with a friend.
Yeah.
But even more so, get in on this giveaway that we're doing. So here, a little bit of a lighter note. So
It's really hard to like be stoked and excited about a giveaway right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, because the kids can't have any because they're dead.
But you're not dead, so you can do
Yes, that's
what
true.
needs to be done.
I know I really shouldn't be making such light heart about this movie because
No.
it's real
Pretty
life,
fucked
but
up.
we can. I'm okay.
okay. But anyway, yes, there's a giveaway. Our first giveaway ever. We are going to be giving away a Raftalia from Pop Up Parade. Good Smile. And then also a Jujutsu Kaisen flash sheet from our boy Hanger91 over here, Jay.
What's up? It's
And
framed. It's nice.
It's framed.
He made
yes.
it.
And there's also 3 stickers.
3 stickers. Yes.
They're really nice too.
Really
There's
nice.
Fire Force, Gundam, and Parasite.
Yeah, nice vinyl stickers too.
Yeah.
Right? So
They're big boys.
But
And
yeah.
a custom hand drawing from me of any
Yeah, that's
character of your
right.
choosing.
Any character of your choosing,
Whatever you choose.
Jordy will draw it, and it'll be really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
We promise.
It's going to be worth something.
But how do they enter, Mikey? Tell them.
Okay, so you can enter by making sure you follow, because triples are best. Either YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. Follow, like, share, and then tag 3 of your friends in the comments. Every time you go into any of those 3, those are 3 different entries.
Yeah.
For
and,
you,
and
so-
for YouTube, you just gotta tag people on the video that you see this, where we're
Yes.
talking about it. That'll count as an entry.
Yes, and then we're going to announce the winner on our Valentine's
Valentine's
Day on February 15th.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
Sick.
Do
Yes.
it. Join us.
Thanks. All right.
Words.
Let's
Words.
get into Let's say some words about Setsuko.
Yes, that's
We're going to
good.
start right off with her because we're going to have to keep talking about her, so we might as well just get into it.
Yes.
The innocence,
The sweetness.
the sweetness,
The love she has for her brother.
also the loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
There's a scene early on where she loses a shoe,
Yes.
like real early on, and her brother's like, "Oh, I'll just buy you a better one. Don't even worry. I'll get you a way
get you
better
new
one."
shoes, yeah.
And she's like, "No, I have money too." And she opens up her purse, and it's just filled with like buttons and baubles and little
Yeah.
things. And he's like, "Oh, you're rich."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I love her.
Dude.
But like, how sweet is her brother though to say things like that to her? To
Totally. Yeah.
her sister?
We'll
He
get
plays
to
along.
him.
He's playing along.
We'll get to
right?
him. We're
Yeah.
talking about her.
Okay. So once again, the innocence.
I'm not done talking about her.
loneliness.
Yeah.
She needs her own time.
Yeah.
Moment of silence, please. Mikey.
No, this is
Moment of silence,
no,
please.
There's no radio silence on fucking podcast.
Moment of silence. Thank you. That was good. I got it. No, I
got a
squeezed it in there. I squeezed it in
second
there.
of silence.
Yeah. But no, before you started,
A
there was
moment,
silence.
not a minute.
That was all I needed.
Yeah.
Dude, they're just they pulled out all the stops on her, man.
They made her the perfect little girl, dude.
There's nothing unlikable.
No.
She doesn't even have any like annoying tantrums.
She does have tantrums.
Yeah, she
but
does.
But they're not unreasonable.
Unfounded, and she's
Like-
not annoying about it. It doesn't
No.
grate on you. You know what I mean?
She's
Like,
just having a hard time.
exactly.
Yes.
It's
You know what I mean?
fully
Yeah.
understandable.
And he's not a parent.
Yeah.
In fact, when she was having her tantrums, I wasn't like, oh God, make her stop crying.
Yeah.
It was more like my heart was just breaking.
I
for
wish
her.
she didn't feel like she had to cry.
Yeah, because
Yes.
you know why she's crying.
Yeah.
You know longer than she does.
Yeah.
And dude, sitting with the knowledge that her mom was dead,
Oh yeah.
waiting for her to learn that news.
Well, the crazy thing.
I felt real guilt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wanted to tell her, and it was hurting me the
Yeah.
longer it went on, her not knowing.
Well, then you find out that she knew a lot longer
A
than
lot
we
longer
knew.
than we knew.
that she
Yeah.
knew.
Which devastates
Yeah,
me.
because then you
even
go back
more.
and think about all those tantrums.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's behind all those tantrums?
Yeah.
And how she was still saying, I want to go see mommy, even though
Yeah.
she knew she was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was saying it to her brother and keeping up the fucking facade. And
Yeah.
oh my God.
And like in a way, she was trying to protect her brother.
100%.
Right.
Everyone's
Like-
just trying to do the best. The two of them, anyhow, I
Yeah.
should say, are just trying to do the best for each other. You don't think of her as that character because
No.
he is so outwardly that character. But she's doing it too.
Yeah.
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 Fuck.
Fuck.
She's perfect.
Yeah.
We'll get obviously more into her in the plot and the things that she does
Yeah.
that are super endearing. For
sure.
Yes.
Let's move along to her.
Okay.
our boy.
Let's talk about Seita.
Moment of silence, please.
Mikey's sucking on a fruit drop.
Don't talk about the fruit drops.
It's a marble.
Okay. So Seita is like,
so for our listeners, if you could see Jay's face right now.
Jay is having a moment of silence in his own head
Yeah.
right now for Mikey's future death. Mikey's gonna murder Mikey. This podcast ends with murder.
With Mikey's death.
Yeah.
With murder.
Probably be our
Foreshadow.
most viewed episode.
Yeah, it would probably be,
Yeah. I don't know. I
We're viral,
the,
everyone.
By the police.
By the police.
So Seta is like, trying so hard to be that stoic military big bro because his dad's in the military. And he is just doing his best at all times, keeping his composure most of the time. And he's like completely single-minded. His only goal is to protect and provide for Setsuko. Nothing else matters to him at all whatsoever.
And I didn't even actually realize how much of his motivations were coming from his dad and how much he looked up to his dad. He mentions him a few times, but it isn't until he learns that that they lost, got sank, the panic in which he has when he runs out of that place.
I hate you, Dad.
But that's what I mean. Like that's when it hits you. It's just like, oh, this guy worshipped his father.
Yeah.
And it really hits you then. Before
see
I was
it,
like, okay, he looks up to his dad like anyone would.
Yeah.
But that was when it really fucking
The
comes
scene
home, man.
you saw it for me was when they flash back to the family photo.
Yeah.
And his dad's in uniform, his mom's in the kimono, she's just a kid, and he runs in uniform.
In uniform.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And looks up at his dad and stands up fucking straight.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean?
so true, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always wearing a military hat, like a Navy hat.
Yeah.
The Navy hat, definitely. I didn't put that together that was like a nod to his dad either. That was just like felt like just
This is the hat I have.
Japanese fashion at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably would have been.
Yeah, but no, it's part of his uniform.
Yeah,
He had a little uniform like his dad.
Amazing.
You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Yeah.
But the other big motivation too was like after him like learning all the loss that he has, the only thing left was Setsuko's love,
Yeah.
right? So like he's just feeding off of that and like holding on, like, because that's the only thing that's kind of fulfilling him.
There's fuck, man. There's moments where he's holding her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and he's crying and holding her.
Yeah.
And it's for him. He's like, that's what you're saying. The love is what is sustaining me right now. I just need it. And she's just like, he's like,
just
crying,
squeezing.
scrapping and crying. Yeah.
Yeah, literally in the scene when she tells him she knows.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything,
Yeah.
and he just grabs her.
Yeah.
And just starts crying.
When he comes out of the police station is the other one too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just fucking grabs her and
Yeah.
they run off.
Yeah.
Bro.
Oh, but that police officer was a
Heartwarming.
bro.
Yeah.
Heartwarming as fuck.
Yeah, like
Yeah. Super unrealistic, nice cop.
But also like realistic in the fact that he couldn't do any more than he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He did what he could do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, back out you go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna send a kid who's starving to jail.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
Yeah.
not realistic.
But you're going to go
wartime.
back to where you came from, where you were starving in the first place.
Yeah.
He's not in a position to take him in.
No,
Nobody
exactly.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
And
he's
that's
sick.
apparent throughout the whole movie. They keep reminding you that like everybody is in a state of pure survival.
Yeah.
And
To the point where the people who were helping them get to a point where they're like, I can't anymore.
it's not only I can't anymore, but
Yeah, the
it's like
farmer?
you don't
Yeah.
fucking deserve this kind of anger.
Yeah.
It's not just like I'm sorry I can't. It turns into like
Yeah.
vitriol. Like they're like
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
They
know.
feel like they're looking at them like they're leeches.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah. I mean, he even wants to buy. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, I'm not going to sell to you.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think there's a lot of transference that happens when you are in your own state of like hardship, and like how like the audacity of you asking me for help when I can't even help myself, kind of thing.
When
Like
you're not even helping yourself. is
yeah,
the other one
right.
too,
Like
right?
and it's just this weird sense of like you almost feel guilty, and instead of and that shame, right? Like that I was talking about, right? Like you don't want to face that and own that and take accountability for that. So it's easier just to get mad at others and place that on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
People act fucked up when they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Exactly,
100%.
right?
And,
yeah.
and everybody in Japan was vulnerable at that time. So
Yeah.
everyone was acting out of character, I think.
Speaking of people who are fucked up, let's talk about Auntie, who is a piece of shit. Fuck her forever. She's the real villain of World War II.
she's the sole cause of World War.
No, but she's the
II.
worst person in it.
Yeah, yeah. There also might be some like potential like mental instability going on with her as well. Like I got some like straight up like bipolar vibes off of
Could
her.
be.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
She was very back and forth with them,
Totally.
on and off.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like it's
With the way she flips her switch on them.
I think she's
Comes
just breaking,
out
to
of
be honest with you.
nowhere, dude. There is literally no build up to that. The night before, everything's good, and the next day, she's just like, get out.
But I think that's part of the cultural thing too. She's
Yes.
keeping her composure all the time.
Yeah.
Until she can't.
Yeah, it's.
You know what I mean?
I see so much of like
so
certain
drastic.
family members in her, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Careful what you say here. I mean, they're not watching, but still.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say it. Like,
Sure.
but as someone who's been raised in a very similar culture, right?
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot of that. Like, you know, it's a lot about saving face.
Yeah.
Right. Very much so saving face, and then once it's like, okay, you're not saving face anymore, and then it's like it's just immediate, because corporal punishment is very common in as a disciplinary tool, right? Like in a lot of those cultures. So I don't see that. I just see very much so a culture that I identify with. Well,
Yeah.
like not as a person that is going to treat people like that, but just someone who's been raised in it.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
So
Just to go from being loving and caring to being that dismissive and
oh yeah.
and cruel to me, like, I know that might be a cultural thing. It doesn't mean that it's healthy, and it doesn't mean that it couldn't still be linked to a mental instability, because
True.
I might not have grown up in that culture, but I've grown up around bipolar people,
Yeah.
and I've grown up around schizophrenic people, and I've seen the way that people can flip a switch like that.
Yeah.
And so that was what it was
Yeah.
giving me. Like,
They,
that was
they do kind of slow play it at times, because the first time you see her being a dick to them is when she's serving food.
Yeah.
And so she's not flipping a switch. She's just not giving them a
As
good
much,
portion of
yeah.
food. There's no rice. It's just watery soup, right?
Yeah.
And you see his face like, huh? But nobody says anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was just a little snipe. A little
a
one.
little one, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, but and I'm not trying to argue the fact that it's not toxic, right? Like, it's still very toxic.
Yeah,
right?
no, we
Like,
just had
yeah,
different
yeah,
reads on it, dude.
Yeah.
We lived
Yeah.
different lives, so I
Yeah,
read it
the-
differently.
But we all agree, fuck her forever.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is anytime like somebody new comes in, you're always going to be much more soft,
Yeah.
right away, and then it's the build up to that, right, where you may be building up any kind of resentment.
She just has expectations of them, and they're not being met. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
But they're unfair expectations.
Unfair expectations, yeah.
but yeah. Anyway,
All right. Well, let's
trauma on
keep-
top of trauma on
Let's
top
keep
of
crying
trauma.
as we go through the plot of the show.
Yes.
That was the day I died, is the first thing he says. And again, we talked about this intro scene, how the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking it's good, because it lets you feel the pain from the beginning of the movie all the way through, as opposed to just like getting the gut punch at the end. So I'm with it now. I get it now. But anyway, so he's dying in like a train station or something, and these like
Yeah.
people are coming by and like, you know, taking shit from the bodies, and they find his little candy tin, and the guy goes, "What's this?" And he goes, "I don't fucking know. Throw it away." And so he throws it into the field, and it's got like a little bone in it. Looks like you don't really know, and I'm like, huh, that's weird. And then like the spirit of Setsuko appears out there, and you know, she's looking and smiling, and then all of a sudden his spirit, or is that the ending scene?
No, it's the
No, that's-
first.
That's the first scene.
that's
His
the first
spirit
scene.
appears next to her, and they smile at each other, and you get like a little loving moment. So that in the end, okay, they die, but then like in heaven, they're happy.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
go and they get on a train.
Yeah, they get on a train and watch themselves die.
Which, by the way, is going to be the moment where we can talk about my Spirited Away theory.
Okay.
Because in Spirited Away, when Chihiro's on the train at the end, she stops at this station on the way to.
They're on the train.
Yeah, on the way, and there's a girl, like a young child, a shadowy figure of a young child at this train station
You think it's
when the
Setsuko?
doors open, and I think it might be Setsuko.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Like a little.
it is her.
Yeah, like a little Easter egg.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I like it.
I mean, Pixar does it all the time.
Yeah.
Can't see why Ghibli wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
After they are on the train, it like pans back, and there's like actually a bunch of dead kids there in the train station. I guess like this is just someplace where kids go to die when they give up on living.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's to imply that this is not a singular story. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people having similar experiences.
Yeah,
is what they're implying.
absolutely, absolutely. But I also think that because a train station is a lot of traffic, and especially if you're homeless like that, right? Like begging.
Yeah.
Right. It's a spot to beg and whatnot.
It's a public place with a covering where you're not
Yeah.
getting the elements raining on you. That's
Totally.
why. Okay, so we then find out the Americans are firebombing Japan in a clunky as hell way. And I'm not really a World War II guy. I don't really know how that all goes down, but it's not bombs. It's just like flaming sticks that just drop all over the town and set things ablaze.
It's incendiary bombs.
Yeah.
So the idea of dropping those is to set things on fire.
Yeah.
They're fire
There's
spreaders.
not explosions. There's just
No,
going to be flames.
they're fire
Yeah,
spreaders.
Yeah, everything's going to burn.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So everyone's evacuating to shelters, and we meet our big bro, our little sis, and our mom. And the bro is burying a bunch of shit in the backyard, which I'm like, what a dutiful little dude. You know what I mean? Just taking care of business. And he is that guy. Everyone's kind of like in decent enough spirits, and he's just bustling around, getting shit done, right?
Yeah.
Mom goes ahead, and he straps his sister to his back and runs off. And immediately, this is where you get your first shot of like a bunch of burned bodies. And I'm like, whoa, okay, so we're going right there, right off the top. The entire town gets demolished, and he immediately, this right off the bat, is like, oh, it's okay, Dad will make them pay, he says, right? So we're getting that element playing into his character as well. The survivors start gathering, they're IDing dead people, discussing the damage, and then we show up at the school where everyone's gathering. Our two kids show up at the school, and their mom's there, and she's all fucked up. Like, really fucked up. And then
Way too fucked up.
oh man,
Yeah. Uncomfortable.
not just fucked up, but then dead.
Yep.
Real quickly. And then Seita gives his mom's ring to
Yeah.
Setsuko, and she's like, "Mom's not going to need it anymore." And I'm like,
But he makes a decision then not to tell her.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
He
Say
doesn't
that
tell her.
she's
He
just
lies.
very sick.
Exactly.
Well,
And then he'll take her to see her when she's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Well, in that moment, he doesn't really know that she's not going to fully recover, right? Like,
No, when he finds out she's dead,
yeah.
he decides not
Yeah.
to. tell
He
her.
does decide not to tell her.
Yeah.
There's that scene where Setsuko is like just kind of kneels down and starts crying because I think they're trying to imply that like regardless of what people are saying, she knows. There's a part of her that knows like it's not good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she kneels down and crying, and he's sitting in the sandbox for just a minute, and it's like super somber. And then he goes, "Hey, watch this!
Hey, watch this."
And he gets up and just starts flipping over the bar
Yeah.
over and over and over and over again. Doesn't change anything.
Yeah, but
So
not
long.
it's
Yeah.
but it's not just him flipping over the bar. It's also like the imagery
Yeah.
or mise en scène.
Yeah. What does that mean, Mike?
You really want me to explain it
No,
this
'cause
time?
I don't think you know.
Fuck you. But anyway, it's him flipping over the bar, and it's also the desolate like
bleakness. Yeah.
and like because there's a shot that when it's panned out,
Yeah.
right, it's just those two and this kind of like chin up bar
Yeah.
that he's spinning over and
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
Right, and it's just such a weird juxtaposition of seeing all that. Right,
That's the
Like,
first moment I think you see where he's trying to help her, and in the end realize he can't, which
Yeah.
is also foreshadowing. Like he's trying to make her feel better, but like she's not feeling better, bro.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyways, mom's body is all covered in maggots now, and it gets carted away.
Yes.
And Seita takes the ashes and gets on a train. And when he's on the train, he's carrying this box, and there's a lady on the train next to him, looking at him like this, like
Yeah.
she knows what's in the box,
Yeah.
because this is not the first person who's gotten on the train with their parents' ashes. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? The weight of all those little moments, dude, little things like that. Bonkers.
Yeah. Well, this is it's a slow burn movie, right? Like it's
Yeah.
you know, it's not any other kind of tragedy where you're watching an event happen and then it's an immediate reaction. It's like you're just slowly, gradually building up more and more pain,
Yeah.
right? Because you already know what happens from the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep. Yeah, bro. You know what happens. Yeah, you do. Okay, so we go to, they're going to live with their aunt. That's what he says, right? So they go over there, and this is where we see the firefly, which again is the moment where I think they're signifying mom's dead. And then there's 3 fireflies, which is signifying like your whole family is going to be dead by the end of this. All 3 of you. Seita goes back to town to dig up all the supplies he buried.
Yeah.
And everything's there, everything's good. And this is where we first see the tin of fruit that drops
Yeah.
or whatever, and he gets all stoked and puts them in his pocket, and you can see him planning. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna blow her fucking mind with these."
yeah, these are gonna be great.
Which I love. And then there's this moment where he comes across a burst water pipe, and there's this like momentary joyous washing of his face
Loved
Yeah.
in the bleak landscape of everything else
it.
going
So
on.
refreshing watching that scene. I
Yeah.
could feel his like
Yeah.
Like,
rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing this all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, he gets back home, and the aunt is stoked on all the stuff he brought. But she also has this tinge of like, I don't know, like judgment for their family because his dad's in the military.
Yeah.
She says to him like, "Oh, you military folks are so spoiled. How do you
Yes.
have all this stuff?" Right.
Yeah.
So already she doesn't like him. Right. I don't think she liked their family. Period. Even before this all went down. You know what I mean? So fuck her forever.
Well, I mean, he had the forethought to fucking bury all that stuff, right?
Yeah, but the fact that their family had that stuff to begin with in wartime rations, because his dad's in the military, I think they get more rations. I think that's what she's implying. You have way more stuff than we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, the pickle plums.
Pickle plums.
Yeah, and then she eats them all.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
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 Like, aren't there more pickled plums left? Like, oh no, we finished those a while ago.
Yeah.
It's like, how do the kids not know when they're almost done? How many did you eat?
Yeah. She's just
Just in the corner, little goblin.
fuck those kids.
Fuck those kids.
That's what she's doing. Yeah, they don't eat pickle plums. Okay, so there's a scene where Seita and Setsuko are like down by the pond, and the fireflies come up, and they have this moment where they're just like enthralled by the fireflies. Setsuko kills one by accident, and she's like, his response to her is, "Oh, you held it too tight." And then the next one, she holds like not tight enough, and it flies away. And I'm like, oh, this is a metaphor for the choice he's about to make with her. You know what I mean? Do I hold on to her so tight and protect her and be her protector? Or do I go off and do the military thing and help the town and be the responsible person? Because then I'm going to lose her in that way instead, right?
Yes.
And we know which choice he makes. And we know what happens to her. And it's what happened to that firefly in her hand
Yes.
when she held it too tight.
Yes.
The fucking imagery and foreshadowing
and metaphors and symbolism
was too much for me at some time. Not too much, but like just like fucking perfection, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's overwhelming for sure.
Yeah.
Storytelling. And then this is when he blows her mind with the fruit drops. He's like, "Hey, open your mouth, close your eyes," and he pops one in there. And she's like, and she runs around, fruit drops, fruit drops, fruit drops, fruit drops. Fuck, man,
Yeah, it's super cute.
the joy, man.
I think those candies are still being made now with the Grave of the Fireflies, with her on the label, but I think they're going to be discontinued soon. I think I remember that recently.
I feel like people don't need to have that memory, like in their
Hey,
pockets.
you want to relive that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want a keepsake? Some memorabilia of this thing that you went through?
Horrible.
Okay, so Auntie is being a big piece of shit now. She's withholding rice from them. She's starting to get like generally grumpier and grumpier. There's a scene where she's scraping the pan and eating it, and they walk in. He goes, "Damn, that looks good."
Yeah.
But he can't ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's not like, "Hey, can I have some of that?" He's not that guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I was reading that as like she easily could like that. Those were scraps. Like that was the burnt rice on the bottom of the thing, and she very easily could have saved that for them.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Fuck that! I'm eating
Not
this shit.
even the
This is
burned
mine.
scraps, yeah.
This is mine.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, "Oh man, this lady is
Yeah.
fucked, dude."
Yeah. And it's evident because the next thing she does is she pretty much forces them to sell their mom's kimonos, which, like, on one hand, like, yeah, you don't need those kimonos.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the way she goes about it, she's like, "This is going to get us so much rice. We're going to sell these."
Yeah.
It's not a question. It's not a conversation.
No, she does not talk to Setsuko, who is scream crying.
Losing
Yes.
it. She literally looks at her like with disdain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
You know what I mean?
what are you thinking of? Like, you
Yeah.
spoiled little brat.
And Seita has this moment too, I think, where he's like, oh, I have to do something about her. I'm the adult for her.
Yeah.
I have to deal with this now, right? And he's like, no, it's okay. And he grabs her. And then they get a bunch of rice, and the rice comes home, and she goes, here's some of it for
Yeah.
you. And she gives them their own rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just some of it, but he's so stoked, dude. He grabs it and he's hugging it. He's rolling on the ground. He's like, "We have rice now.
Yeah.
It's the best." And then pretty soon after this, she full on like snaps on them. She's like, "You guys are fucking loafers. You're ungrateful. You know, you don't share your rice, but you want more of ours." And I'm thinking, like, that's his. That's theirs.
Yeah.
He says that to her.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's our rice. We
Yeah.
got that."
Yeah. My mom's kimonos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the fuck, lady? What the fuck,
So
lady?
he gets the fuck out of Dodge. Like he fucking like
well,
I
he-
back it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he bought his the cooking gear first.
That does happen pretty
And
soon.
then-
We'll
yeah.
get there. But the next scene that happens is they go to the beach. And we have this almost peaceful, no wartime scene at the beach where they're just playing and having a good time. And I'm starting to feel anxiety.
Yeah, but it's too peaceful. It's too nice
Exactly.
right now.
And then there's a dead person on the beach.
Yeah.
And this is also when we first see Setsuko's rash,
Yes.
Oh my god, dude.
Yes.
which is hard to watch.
Yeah,
to see
it just
it
gets
spread
worse
all
and
over
worse.
her body as the movie progresses.
Well, and that's the thing about this movie too. It's like the normalization of them seeing dead bodies or like
Yeah.
having all of that like is really
Yeah.
messed up,
Totally.
right? So
Oh, there's a man sleeping. Don't bother him.
don't
Let's
bother
go away
him.
from
Yeah. right?
So it turns out Mama had a nest egg. She had 7,000 yen in the bank. And they go out and they buy their own cooking gear and a bunch of other stuff to be more independent. And this just pisses Auntie off even more. So now she's pissed off that they're in their own room cooking for themselves and not being part of the family at all. Which is like, well, you you did that.
Yeah.
You made them do that, ladies. What the fuck is up?
This is what I'm saying, man. She's not well, dude.
She's not good, yeah. Yeah. So, and then she also starts chirping them because I guess they've been, every time there's a bombing, he grabs his sister and they run to this cave.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you running to this cave? Like, you should be working
Well,
and
it's a
helping.
makeshift bomb shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was built for
Is
bomb
that what it
protection.
is?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Because anytime the alarms go off, right?
But nobody else
they would
goes
have
there.
those.
It's just theirs. I guess
Yeah.
nobody else knows about it or something. I don't know.
Or maybe nobody's around it to run to it.
Who knows? Yeah. And then pretty soon after that, they just like legit are like, you know what? Let's fuck it. This is cave is our home now.
Yeah.
We can move here. And they have this thing where they're like, don't tell Auntie though. You know what I mean? And as they're leaving with their cart, their borrowed cart, by the way,
Yeah.
filled with all their shit. She's like, where are you going? And then he's like, oh, we have family in Tokyo or something. And they're walking away and she's giggling, laughing. And Auntie looks up like, something's fucking fishy about that. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what's fishy about it. You don't need to know.
Yeah. No love lost.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be fine.
Bye, Auntie.
Not really, but
We're
you
gonna-
know.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? So like that's obviously a big decision, and it
Yeah.
was divisive for audiences.
Yeah.
And I get why fully, but I wasn't seeing a lot of evidence to suggest that Auntie wouldn't have let them starve to death.
Yeah. In the house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say, man. Like,
But I'm just saying, I find it hard to find anything that tells
Yeah,
me
you're right.
that she wouldn't have just let them starve to death.
aside from it feels like a line that people shouldn't cross, shouldn't allow it to get that bad. But you're
Yeah.
right. They don't tell you. They don't imply that she would honor that
Like
line.
Setsuko getting this rash, is she gonna help Setsuko get medical care
Yeah.
for her rash?
Who
Is she gonna
knows, man?
spend money to do that? Is
Who
she gonna
knows?
travel to do that? Is she gonna leave her home?
I mean, the other thing is like in the house, there's also like another sister and a
She has kids.
Yeah,
there's other people
yeah.
there who I assume would say something if they feel like they could. But she's a
Well,
tyrant, so maybe they can't. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, the sister does say something, right? Like at one point, she's
Does
like,
she?
"Yeah, he's like, you've been giving them a hard time again, haven't you?"
Oh yeah, you're right. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If they stayed, she might have been a piece of shit to them forever, but eventually someone would step in because there's people around.
Potentially.
Yeah.
You hope,
Potentially.
anyway. You hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so camp life is super wholesome. They're just having a good time, which again is also very worrisome for me.
Yeah.
Anytime good times are happening, I'm not feeling good about it.
Yeah, she's so happy to be by
Yeah,
the lake
absolutely.
in her new
Yeah.
home. Like
Yeah.
she's so excited for it.
It's like the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have food. They
Yeah.
play in the water.
Fireflies, they bring all the fireflies
Fireflies
inside their netting, which
Yeah.
was a fucking cute scene.
Very
dude.
cute, dude.
Adorable. And then one lands on the doll's head, which I think is a little weird foreshadowing because at this point in my mind, they already represent death. And the doll represents her. And then the next one you see is on the net and it dies. And I'm like,
dies.
oh, you gave it to me lightly and then you just told me straight out. You know what I mean? Like, you just told me.
Maybe she dies.
What?
Very next scene, she dies.
Yeah.
She dies.
Yeah. That's literally it. And so Setsuko the next morning is digging a mass grave for all the fireflies. And this
Yes.
is where she gets that moment. Why do they have to die so soon? Why can't they live longer? And we get a quick cut shot to the actual mass grave that their mom gets thrown in. And the moment they throw the body in.
Yes.
And I was like, you wanted to stab me with that shot. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm
Yeah.
sad already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just
It's-
took me back to the other sad part from before.
Now, what they've been doing is they've been slowly taking that dagger. No, they don't. They don't go. They
you're
just.
right.
They just go. And then they start twisting it.
No, the twist is
Yeah. But that one was definitely the knife slowly going in. Like, a little jab.
Jabs.
A little jab. That quick scene hurt me. And then she explains that she's like, oh, I'm digging them a grave like the one Mama's in. I
Yeah.
already know. Auntie told me. And Seita breaks for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Just for a second here. This is the first time. And then he gets it together. And I don't even remember how it all wraps up, but like, what a moment, man.
Well, he talks her down.
Yeah.
He just changes the subject.
But
Starts
I think
talking about.
I think he's talking
happier
himself down too.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
that's what he's doing.
100%.
He's focusing on kind of composing himself more than anything, right?
Yeah.
So
things. I mean, he just got like floored by the fact that she knows.
Yeah. And also faced with the guilt of not being the one to have told her.
Yeah.
Told her.
Yeah.
And also, this is all surrounding the violent death of his mother.
Yeah.
So, like, just the general happenstance is devastating.
Yeah.
And then these are just devastating little pockets within the devastation.
With the knife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 100 stab wounds, 200
I'm
stab
just
wounds.
watching it in my room, just bleeding from multiple stab wounds.
Yeah. Just dying in a cave alone, watching this movie. Okay, so shit's getting tough in the cave. Food is scarce. They start eating frogs. At one point in a scene, they're like walking down the street, and a plane straight up just shoot at them, like just bullets from the plane. They dive into a garden and they start stealing a bunch of food. She's like, "Is this okay?" He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah. Eat now.
grabbing, nom,
Yeah.
nom, 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 and they've got like clothes full of food. They're like, hoarding whatever, and they run off, and a police officer like sees them, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" and they start running.
Yeah.
Later on, he gets into stealing after this.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, this is how we eat now," and he gets caught by this farmer, and the farmer basically like beats the shit out of him.
Beats the shit
Yeah,
out of it.
Yeah.
drags him to the police station while Setsuko's watching him be dragged away.
Yeah.
Which was one of the saddest scenes for me because she often doesn't show sadness, you know what I mean? Or like fear. She's afraid in that moment, you know what I mean? Because the loneliness is a big character trait of
Yes.
hers. She doesn't want to ever not be with him. She's sad when he leaves.
She's on the
Yeah.
doorstep of being alone.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
And not in good terms. Not like I'm just going to get some food. It's like dragged away. Like I might never see him again.
Exactly.
Sadness.
Really alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is where you also start seeing like her figure and the character design. Like you're starting to
Smaller.
see them smaller,
Skinnier, baggier clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
More tattered.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we meet our good dude cop who scares away the dickhead farmer, who's like, "Hey, you beat the fuck out of this kid. I should arrest you." And he's like, "What?" Runs out of there.
Looks almost like assault.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, bye."
Yeah, gets out of there.
Yeah.
And it turns out Seiko followed them. Setsuko followed them to the fucking police station, and she's standing outside, and this is where he really fucking breaks down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And he grabs her. It's a big time breakdown. So yeah, he takes her back to the shelter. There's more bombings, more thieving going on. At this point, Seita is thieving during the bombings. There's a scene where he's running down the street with a bunch of stuff he just stole and screaming like, "Go get him! Keep bombing!
Yeah.
This is going great for me!" Yeah.
And then he goes to his aunt's house.
Yeah.
And fucking just rummages around.
Yeah.
Just eats a bunch of food
He
and
loves
shit.
it. Yeah. Amazing.
But that's like the balls on this kid, man.
Yeah. Well, he has no choice.
Yeah, he
at
has
this
no
point.
choice.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like running into all of that
Yeah.
to gain whatever he needs or steal whatever he needs.
Well, I'm thinking he's
Still.
losing it a bit at this point.
Yeah,
Sur-
starting to get
survival
on the
instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's running off survival
Yeah.
instinct.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
He steals a bunch of kimonos and tries to sell them, and they're apparently worthless pieces of shit, and he gets all upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, he probably couldn't tell what was
He doesn't
nice.
know.
Yeah, right?
He just knows that the last time that happened, they got a bunch of rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Setsuko's not doing good during all this. Her rash is spreading, and now she starts saying the diarrhea won't go away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I fucking can't anymore,
Yeah.
dudes.
I know, dude.
My dudes. Seita comes home after thieving and finds the doll in the grass, and Setsuko's passed out, all dehydrated, and he basically picks her up and drags her to a doctor's office without having any money or anything.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, "Oh, it's malnutrition.
Yeah.
Like, you can fix this."
Yeah.
But he can't.
He's pleading
Yes.
with the doctor, like,
Who's gonna help her?
Like, help me. He's like,
Yeah.
please,
Give me
all
a-
this child needs is food.
Yeah.
And then he's like, where the fuck do I get the food?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, he's freaking the fuck out. No mercy from even the doctor there. in
No,
that
Yeah.
the
situation.
doctor's so nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Upper class motherfuckers, dude.
Yeah. And so she's basically, I can't remember if she's saying she's hungry or not. She's saying some shit. And he's like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take out our last savings. We're going to have a fucking feast."
Yeah.
So he takes out their last 3,000 yen. And while he's going to do this, she's lying in the cave being like, "I just don't want you to leave." And he's like, "No, I'm going to go. I'm going to get all this food. This is going to be what we need. We're going to get all this food." And she's like, "No, just don't leave." And they have like a little cute hug. He reassures her. And then he goes. He's at the bank.
Yeah.
And he finds out, fuck, man. He finds out,
He's not gonna cry during the movie, but he's gonna cry on the
Dude,
podcast.
he finds out, just let's breeze past it. He finds out that they lost the war, apparently.
Yes.
And that the whole entire Navy was sunk, including his dad's ship. He screams, "I hate you, Dad," runs out of there.
Yes.
He gets back to the cave. Setsuko's like barely there. She's lying on the ground. she's pretending about some food she made for him.
Yeah,
which
that's
is like
the marbles and
some
like
rocks.
No, the marbles are in her mouth because
she's sucking on a marble.
thinking they're the candy drops,
yeah.
but she makes him some rice balls.
Yeah.
and they're just 2 rocks.
Yeah.
And she's literally like has enough energy to roll over.
And tell him, yeah, I made you this. And I'm like, I can't tell if she's playing or losing it. You know what I mean?
No, she's definitely
And
not playing.
he goes,
You think she's playing
He goes,
in that moment? You think she's just playing around?
Me? No.
Oh, okay.
She's not playing.
Okay, I
she's
thought that's what
really
you said.
delusional.
She's playing. I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, no.
I was
She's,
saying she's not playing.
she's
Yeah.
delusional.
Yeah,
she's dying, man.
And he cuts up the watermelon. She goes, that's yummy. And then he leaves a slice with her and goes, I'm going to go make all this food. I'll be back in a minute. Her last words are, Seta, thank you.
Yeah.
And the next words you hear are his narrator voice saying, Setsuko never woke up.
Yeah.
The little watermelon sitting on her chest.
Yeah.
Typing that gave me the shivers. I have the shivers now saying it again. Then he just lies down with her and just holds her. You know what I mean? Both of them lifeless for different reasons. Just lying there. I'm not looking at Jay right now. He goes to get the rations to cremate her, which is like a thing, I guess. And people are coming home, refilling the town, saying things like, "Wow, nothing's changed. It's so great to be home." Meanwhile, he's literally got the tools and materials to burn his dead sister's body.
That was a heavy scene too, because the juxtaposition of having people who are, of a little bit more money or are fortunate enough to be able to go do those things, right? And then that scene going back, I'm just like, go fuck yourselves, guys.
Well, I mean, to him and his family, evacuation was like, okay, we'll just go to the streets in another town.
Yeah.
To them, it was like, oh, we'll go to our summer home, or you know what I mean, or like we'll go to Tokyo or whatever, whoever the fuck they went, right? But yeah, I mean, and they come back to their homes that didn't get burned and bombed. Like, fuck, man. So there's this montage of Setsuko playing around the abandoned cave camp, which has kind of made me feel like these are all the scenes of Setsuko when he left her.
Yeah.
This is what she was getting up to when he was gone, with the cape, running around.
Yeah,
you know
being
what I
on
mean?
the swing.
Playing
and,
out. And then we find out that they left behind the mom's ashes in the cave. There's the cremation scene, which is the last scene pretty much. He's ultra solemn and he just sits there all day and night, and in the end puts the fruit drops into the tin.
Yeah.
And that's it. I guess in the end, he just gives up on life and goes into the train station. Like, that's it.
see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah.
That's the end, man.
I mean, for our listeners and viewers, like, you guys fucking knew, if you've seen it going into this, how this is gonna go. I'm surprised. I'm gonna be surprised what the numbers are of people who actually listen, whether or not this is gonna be
A good one or not? Like a popular episode for us?
yeah, or not, because it's like. Because if I saw Grave of the Fireflies, I probably wouldn't click that button.
I mean, this might be a good one for people who
Yeah.
don't want to see the movie but are curious and know that it's important. Like, watch our episode on it and just don't go through that if you don't want to. That's an option.
I think people who've watched it would want to see how it affected us without having to
Yeah.
actually watch it again.
For sure.
Yeah.
It'd be a fun thing.
Don't
Yeah,
watch
no,
it
for
again.
sure.
Nobody
Yeah.
needs that.
Well, that's why I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely comment how it hit you guys if you're watching this.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
us know if you were unaffected by this and you're a fucking monster, or if you cried like me.
Bro, that side eye.
Yeah.
People, emotions manifest in different ways.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
All right. But anyway, Jordy, what do you give this, buddy?
This is a hard film to score because, yeah, it's a masterpiece, but as a viewing experience, it doesn't make you feel good, which again is the point. So it's effective, but like, yeah, it's just the extreme degree of sadness is hard. It's a hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
So you feel weird giving it like a high score because of how it made you felt. You know what I mean? But also it's fucking brilliant. It's a masterpiece. And so I scored it more like that than others. And I'd say like 8.5, 9 almost in its effectiveness, in its execution, in the way it made me feel feelings, which was what its purpose is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
9. I'll give this a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much a fucking masterpiece for what it is. Like, if you want a sad period piece anime, This is perfection. if that's what you're after.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just devastating to watch, and it's gonna make you want to, call the
Go to
people
sleep.
you love.
Just
and-
making you want to go to sleep immediately.
well,
That's what
yeah,
I did.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just
must curl up into the fetal position and get under blankets.
it makes you think about a lot of deep, heavy shit. So
Yeah.
just be prepared for that, guys, if you check this one out. Or if you have already checked this one out, maybe we helped you
relive it,
recover a little bit, maybe commiserate with us.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about like any kind of period piece that's war like this, right? Like, I mean, war. Like, it's so strange about war where I feel like the general consensus is war is bad, right? It's not a good thing. The consequences are things like this.
War's bad, okay?
Killing's bad.
Killing's bad.
Yeah. Little children dying
Yeah,
alone,
right?
lonely.
bad.
It's bad.
But it still continues to happen,
Yeah.
right? Regardless of like, who started it or not.
Yeah.
Right?
What's your
'Cause,
score?
My score, 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't give it any higher than that, only because when I first watched this, like the heart wrench, right? It took away from the movie because of how heart wrenching it was.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at with
Yeah.
why it's a hard movie to score, because I want to take away points for that as well too. But that's testament to its effectiveness.
Well,
to its
that's the
execution.
thing, right? Like
So,
it should technically be a 9.5, but it's.
But you're
But I'm
butthurt about
I'm
it.
just butthurt
Yeah,
that
you're angry.
it did its job so well.
Yeah, it cut you.
I'm mad because it made me sad.
Yeah.
I didn't feel things.
Fuck you, because I felt feelings.
Nice.
But yes, but anyway, okay. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
coming and
Well, we are truly flustered. Too,
yeah,
eh?
for this one. Yeah.
I'm just sad, man.
But in a way, I think we really had to do this for the Ghibli,
Yeah.
call out or
It's a must-do.
We'll probably do all
honor.
the Ghibli stuff eventually.
Yes,
so
for
we have
sure.
to get to it.
Even the weird little fringy ones.
Yes. But that's the thing, right? Like it is a very important film for that studio. Very, very important film for that studio. But yeah. Jordy, where can people find you?
At Reaching In, let's cry tears together.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
At hanger.91 on Instagram, hanger91.bigcartel.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gonna make a fruit drop tin design or like?
Shut your fucking mouth. No, I will not.
Okay.
And also if you can, check out Never Not Kittens on TikTok.
it.
They're a nonprofit kitten rescue. Donate if you can. But you guys can find me at Shmanime Pod on all socials, TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot. Or if you want to just find me personally on Instagram, it's Korean Barbecue 86.
Contest giveaway.
Contest giveaway. I mean, if you've made it this far, you know what the details are.
Yeah. Do it though.
But yeah, thanks guys.
We love you.
Love you. Let's cry. More tears.
Bye.
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 Oh God, bye. Also, almost forgot. Next week we're doing Bochi the Rock. So stay tuned for that one. Thanks guys. Bye.